So hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us for today's Grow with Google seminar. Today's title is Make Your Website Work for You. It is June 29th, 2021. Today's webinar is a production of the Virginia Small Business Development Center, which serves the Lynchburg region. With 29 centers across the Commonwealth, the Virginia Small Business Development Center provides training and technical assistance to small businesses. The Virginia SBDC is headquartered at George Mason University and is a program that is a cooperative agreement between the U.S. Small Business Administration, premier institutions across Virginia, and our local governments. My name is Stephanie Keener, and I am the Executive Director of the SBDC that serves the city of Lynchburg, Amherst, Appomattox, Bedford, and Campbell counties, and we are locally hosted at the Lynchburg Regional Business Alliance. As I said, today we're continuing our Grow with Google series. Grow with Google is free digital training courses and tools to help your small business adapt, grow, and better serve your community. We have 4 more titles coming up in this series, including our next event on July 13th, How to Reach Customers Online with Google. You can see all of our upcoming training events at sbdclynchburgregion.org. Just click on the training calendar. While you're there, you'll see our upcoming Create Virginia events. That's a series that is targeted at our arts entrepreneurs, artists, and creatives. But I will note that the keynote for that series on August 3rd is for anyone that's interested in how technology and cryptocurrency is impacting the arts and businesses with New York Times writer and author Kevin Roose. So if you haven't already registered for that or for the rest of the Google series, you can do it there. You can also see those at virginiasbdc.org. Our facilitator for tonight is Nowona Evans. Nowona is what you get when you combine a left brain thinker and a creative soul. As an IT communications manager in the higher ed space, she is able to blend her love of marketing communications with her fascination with tech and to teach others how to utilize both. Her biggest hope for the Grow with Google series is that you leave feeling empowered and excited to use technology to grow your business and reach your goals. This is such a great series, Nowona. Thank you for doing this for us. I'm going to turn it over to you. It looks like we have lots of participants here with us tonight, so I will remind them to put questions in the chat. And yes, we are recording and we will be sharing this on YouTube. Later on, you'll get a follow-up email from me. So have a great Make Your Website Work for You.
Great, thanks, Stephanie. Hi, everyone. As Stephanie said, my name is Nowona Evans, and I'm so excited to be with you guys today and to be a part of today's workshop, Make Your Website Work for You. I've lived in Central Virginia for about 12 years now, and I am super excited to see such growth from local businesses in the time that I've been here. So for those of you that don't know about Grow with Google, it's an initiative that helps people prepare for work, find jobs, and grow their business using Google tools. Today, you're going to learn the how to create a website that supports your business goals. Whether you're launching a new website or sprucing up an old one, this workshop will help you learn to get the most out of your site. I would like to note that this presentation doesn't go into the mechanics of creating a website from scratch, but if that's something you're interested in, we would be happy to go into that a bit more after the presentation. All right, so let's get started. We know that today, more than ever, small businesses are getting online to connect with consumers and drive sales. After all, many of us are connecting with businesses from our own homes. It's important to make sure that you update your website with critical information, news, and announcements affecting the operation of your business and your customers. Start by reviewing your website to identify products, services, and operations that may be affected. Then add information and resources to help your customers understand these changes. You can create a video message or a series of messages, add updates when appropriate, and so much more. And as a lot of businesses have shifted some or all of their operations online, it's more important than ever that your website works for your business. Now, let's start by reviewing web design. A lot of times when people think of web design, they often think of the overall template, the look and feel, the graphics, the layout, and all the other elements that appear consistently throughout the website. That design is just one component of web design. Within the graphic template, there are lots of common elements that appear on most websites, including the header or the top of the website, and it usually includes a company logo in the left corner, and most website visitors expect that the logo will link to the homepage when they click on it. The footer is the bottom section of the website, and it usually includes important links, contact info, and copyright info. And then there's the navigation that's usually horizontally across the top of the site, below the header, or on the left side of the website. The web design should lay out a set of guidelines that keep web pages consistent: the colors, the font sizes, font styles, and the types of content. Some websites are designed and built from scratch. Others use a content management system like Shopify, Wix, WordPress, Google Sites. Most content management systems include web-based tools that easily build, customize, and update a website. There are many options out there, and they are all a little bit different. If you're just getting started, you can review your options and find the software that you are the most comfortable using. Whether you're building a website from scratch or using a content management system, all the principles from today's workshop will apply. In today's presentation, we are going to look at 6 characteristics of a great website. Remember that a website is not all about design. A great website is goal-oriented, it's organized and easy to search, it's useful, it's functional, it's intuitive, and last but not least, it's findable by search engines. So first off, you have to start thinking about the goal of your website. What's the purpose? Many business owners know that building a website is an important early step, but a website can be a lot more useful than it being just an online business card or brochure. With some advanced planning, you can create a site that helps your business grow. But how do you want to grow? You need to start by defining goals. Ask yourself these questions. Why do I want a website? And what do I want it to do? Think of your site as a tool that can help you achieve your business goals. The goals depend on your particular business, but some examples are they help build your company brand, they generate leads, they make sales, they re-engage customers, attract employees, provide customer support, all of the above, and so much more. Next, think about your target audience. Who are you designing your website for? This influences how you will build your site and how you're going to achieve your goals. Your audience impacts everything, from the graphic design to the words on the web pages. And your site should not try to be everything to everyone. Narrow in on your audience and not the general public. Defining your target audience might sound simple, but it does take some effort. It's relatively easy to define an audience with demographic data like gender, age, and employment status. But if you stop there, it makes it more difficult for your business to stand out among competitors. And stereotypes about your audience can lead to false assumptions. So ask yourself, what makes your audience unique? Your goal is to develop a more complete picture of your target audience. For example, examine specific age ranges rather than one large age range. Consider location. Are you in the city, the suburbs, in a rural area? Consider your audience's education level, their type of employment, their hobbies and interests, and their values. And then consider if they would consider your product or service a necessity, something that's nice to have, or just a special treat. Once you have defined your audience, keep them in mind when moving forward with your site. Now that you're thinking about your goals and your audience, let's add another thing to the mix: tracking and measuring success. If you don't track and measure your website's performance, you won't have a way to make improvements. Well, at least not improvements that are based on data, and that's what we want, right? So here's another way to think about it. Let's say you made some modifications to your bike to make it go faster. If you don't know your maximum speed before the modifications, how will you know that it worked? Similarly, you need to track and measure online success so you know what kind of improvements to make. You should always be testing. There are lots of ways to do it, and we'll go into that a little bit later. But you can start by simply just asking your customers how they found out about you. You can ask them when they call you on the phone, when they visit your store, or when you're corresponding by email. You can also get more precise by setting up a trackable phone number. If you advertise with Google, you can set up free call tracking, which records every time your ad results in a phone call. You can track the number of emails and form submissions from your website. And if you have an e-commerce style website, you can track sales. You can even use web analytics software like Google Analytics to analyze visitor behavior on your website. So let's jump into what Google Analytics is briefly. So Google Analytics is a free tool that can help you to better understand your audience and their activity on your website. This information will help you to make more strategic decisions for your business. When reviewing your Google Analytics data, you will be able to learn which search terms and sources drive the most traffic, see demographic information for your most profitable customers, understand what content your audience is most interested in, and evaluate which channels drive the most conversions. To set up a Google Analytics account, you can go to g.co/analytics, and you'll start by either creating a new account or signing into your existing analytics account. Next, you'll need to set up a property in your analytics account if you haven't already done so. And then you can follow the easy instructions to add the tracking code to your website so you can collect data in your reports. If you use a content management system, like something like Wix or WordPress, you can actually enter your Google Analytics tracking ID on those sites as well. Now, just so that you're aware, this screenshot is for the older version of Google Analytics, and the new version, if you're just starting out, will have a little bit different account organization and reports. But here's an example of one helpful Google Analytics report. This is part of a category of reports called audience reports. Audience reports provide insight into characteristics of your users, such as demographics, their interests, geography, language and behavior, technology, and their devices. Some business owners have preconceived notions about their customers, like their typical age range, their gender, their interests, or maybe the preconceived notion extends to what visitors want or want to do on the website. Analytics is really cool because it can provide the data you need to actually understand your website visitors and potentially detect a mismatch. As you create or improve your website, you can use that information to fine-tune the site based on the data. Now that we've talked about goals and tips for choosing a design, let's talk about the information within the website. A great website is well organized. Even if you don't have a lot of web pages now, your site should grow over time. Planning how existing and future content will fit into the framework of your website sets your site up for success. First, you want to start with a plan. They call this the information architecture plan. It sounds really technical, but you don't need to be a web designer, a programmer, or an architect to create one. Simply put, it's a plan to organize information on your website. The information architecture plan maps out the sections, pages, and functionality of your site. There are several pages and sections found on most websites, including the homepage, an About Us page, a contact page. And if you've ever been to a website, you're probably really familiar with these kind of pages. Depending on your business, you'll probably include a products or a service section too. But how are you supposed to organize that info? The best way is by considering your business goals. Earlier, we talked about business goals, and you're going to want to think about these as you're planning out your website. So let's take a look at this example. This business sells jewelry, and you can see that their products are organized by jewelry type. Now think about your business and what your customers might be looking for when they visit your site. How can you organize that so there is an easy flow to your site? Here are a few tips to get started. When you're choosing names and labels for parts of your site, keep them short and descriptive. And as you create your website plan, remember to keep the most important info in the main navigation. That information will depend on your business and your business goals. That plan can help you create the most appropriate web design and template. To get started, you'll define the target audience, which you did earlier. What do you want people to take away from your website? You can even ask people what they want to take away. Think about the questions that people ask you the most about your business and make a list of keywords related to it. Can you incorporate any into your navigation and organization? You can use lists to keep site content, colors, icons, and imagery consistent with your goals. And then also make a list of the information or features you have or want to have on your website. This example on the right shows you a homepage of a quilting company. And in this example, you'll see short, clear descriptions in the main navigation at the top. The business owner has organized the site into categories that are relevant and understood by her target audience, things like yardage and pre-cut fabric. And we might not know what those things mean. I'm at least not quite familiar, but her target audience is well aware of what those things mean. So she's organized it in ways that they can understand. You can also see information about online shopping in the top right navigation, where you may be accustomed to seeing the shopping cart. Additionally, she has included promotions front and center to catch the attention of her customers. So we've talked about goals and organization, but the next thing you need to consider is creating relevant content and experience, no matter what device your visitors use. So let's talk about mobile. Did you know that more than 50% of all web traffic is now coming from smartphones and tablets? Consumers expect to be able to use your website on their phones, and it shouldn't be hard to do. In fact, 46% of people say they would not purchase from a company again if they had an interrupted mobile experience. Making your website work on mobile devices is no longer an afterthought, but a priority. The good news is that more and more websites are being built from the start with technology that automatically optimizes the website format to best fit the device it's being viewed on. This responsive web design adjusts the site's appearance to best present the info based on the size of the screen and type of device. But no matter what device a visitor uses, they have to find useful information on the website. Now let's talk about useful information for your website, which we'll call the content. When you hear the term content, the first thing that probably comes to mind is text, like the words in a book. That's one type of content, but it also includes images, videos, downloads, and other tools. For example, if your products are visual, like you sell purses, for example, you might want to add a photo gallery section so people can see what they look like. If your product needs to be set up, you might want to create a how-to video to help customers. If you sell cameras, you might offer downloadable PDF product manuals. Or if your customers need answers to questions, you can offer tools to help. For example, if your business delivers mulch to residential customers, create a mulch calculator to help them order the right amount. So think about your business. What content would be useful for your customers? What content would support your business goals? And whenever possible, create original, unique content. This can set your business apart from the competition. One more thing to keep in mind is that as you create and publish content on your website, consider how customers might search on Google to find that content. Be sure to include those words and phrases in your content to help Google and other search engines find and index it. If you're not sure how people search on Google, try Google Trends. And Google Trends is really cool because it's free, but it also helps you to understand the relative popularity of keywords over time. You can use it to research keyword popularity and incorporate important keywords into your web content. Let's take a look at this yoga studio that wants to create relevant content to help human visitors and Google understand what their website is about. Using Google Trends, the yoga studio can compare keyword popularity for words, and they've used the ones Bikram yoga and just regular yoga. And they went to g.co/trends, and they entered the keywords or phrases they wanted to compare. And they were able to actually narrow the results by location and adjust the date range. And then they were able to see which one was more popular. And you can see on the right-hand side of the screen on the mobile phone that the word yoga was way more searched than the specific type Bikram yoga. So you can do that for anything to see what are the kind of words and phrases I want to incorporate on my website that'll make it easier for people to find me when they're using Google. So that's a really cool tool. Now, another aspect that we'll want to talk about for a great website is overall functionality. What does functionality mean in this context? It refers to the parts of your websites that allow visitors to take actions. If you're making a list of all the functionality you want on your site, it might include a site search, a contact form, an online shopping cart or checkout, or a custom tool designed specifically for your customers. Functionality should support your business goals. Now let's look at two different scenarios on the screen. Scenario number one is that you run a shoe repair business. People either call or stop by to get quotes on their repairs. You could create an online form for customers to submit their information and a picture of their needed repair so that they can get a quote online without actually having to visit the store or calling to give a description of the item and the needed repair. Scenario number two is that you answer the same set of questions on the phone every day. How can your website help? By creating a simple web page and a frequently asked questions page, you can help customers find answers to the most basic questions, which helps save your customer time and you time at the same time. Now, don't add functionality for the sake of having it. It should always have a good purpose. You want to add functionality that helps customers. You also want customers to be able to minimize the amount of time spent performing tasks on your website. Try to minimize steps in the checkout process with features like mobile payments and keep the forms that on your site short and sweet. Also avoid interruptions like pop-ups when visitors land on your website. And don't embed videos that will autoplay with sound when visitors land on your website. And most importantly, don't trade user experience for beautiful design. In the case of a website, it's function over form. If your customers can go to your site and get the information they need, they'll care far less about how beautiful the site is, as long as they can accomplish their goals on it. Now we've covered some big picture topics like goals, organization, functionality, and now let's look at how easy it is to navigate your site. This section is focused on design, but not how pretty it looks, how intuitive it is. In other words, does your site design naturally lead visitors through a process on the site? Can visitors use your site without struggling or even thinking hard and accomplish what they set out to do? A design that's easy to use can have a significant impact on whether your site supports your business goals. Let's take a look at a few things to consider when building a great experience for web visitors. First, the navigation. Make it easy to get around your site. You can do this by highlighting elements that are selected, for example, when choosing options on an e-commerce store. Designing your site to allow plenty of space for users to tap, like if they're using a mobile device. If your site includes a call to action, make it tappable to take visitors directly to the content they want to access. Next, make it easy for customers to shop, continue shopping, or come back to an earlier page to ensure that they do come back to the site after they take a break. Notice that this example business added the helpful Add to Cart button to allow customers to continue shopping. Another tip is to recommend similar products throughout the shopping experience and make it easy for them to find what they need. Tip number 3 is to make it easy for visitors to check out and pay on mobile devices. How many of you have visited a website and tried to check out only to have difficulty entering your credit card number or updating order details? A difficult checkout process can have a major impact on a website's conversion rate. Here are some helpful things you can do to make it easier for your visitors to check out. 1 is reduce the number of steps in the checkout process. 2 is to show the visitors progress as they move throughout the checkout process. This lets them know that they are just about done. Use guest checkout so visitors don't have to create an account to make a purchase. Just make sure to offer them an option to sign up or save their profiles after the transaction is complete. And last, you can enable digital wallets such as Google Pay or Apple Pay to make payment easy. Since we know that mobile is so important, it's a good idea to make sure that your website is compatible with all devices. Google's Chrome Inspector tool found within Google Chrome helps you test your website's compatibility from all different device types. To use Google Chrome Inspector, you can navigate to your website in a Chrome browser and right-click anywhere on the web page from the pop-up window, you can select Inspect. On the right-hand toolbar, you can select the icon labeled Toggle Device Toolbar. This will display a drop-down menu above your website labeled Responsive. From there, you can use the drop-down menu to view how your website appears on many types of devices. And that's what we're showing on this slide. So it literally will show you what your website looks like on a variety of devices. Last but not least, a great website is search friendly. You invested your time and resources to build a business website, and you want to be sure that people can actually find it when they search online. The process of helping a website increase its visibility on search engines is called search engine optimization, or SEO, as it's most commonly known as. SEO could merit its own presentation, but this section will give you some tips to get your site off to a good start. Being findable in the Google search results is critical for a business website that depends on visitor traffic. Most people use search engines first when they are looking for answers, and that's true for 75% of smartphone owners. This image of a Google search results page might look familiar, but we'll break it down by sections. At the top, you see a word, phrase, or even a question that the searcher typed in, called a search query. Below the search query, you see the search results. The results can include ads identified with a sponsored or ad label. On this screenshot, you see shopping ads with thumbnail images of the products for sale. Below that, you see a text ad. Underneath the ads, in the center of the page, you see the start of the natural or organic results. Creating a search-friendly site helps increase your chances of appearing in the organic results. Google's algorithm identifies organic results, the most relevant and useful matches for the search. Clicks on links in the organic results are free. It's important to note the websites cannot pay Google to appear in the organic results, and advertising does not influence a website's organic presence or position. On the right sidebar, you see a business profile on Google. Local businesses with a storefront or service can create a free business profile using a tool called Google My Business, which shows info on Google Search and Maps. And if you have any questions about that, we actually did that presentation a couple weeks ago, and it's on the YouTube channel. So let us know if you want a link for that. Now that you understand the elements of a search results page, it might be helpful to understand how Google decides what information to display. How does search work? Imagine that the web is a book with trillions of pages. Google's job is to read the book, categorize pages, and help searchers find the info on these pages. To read the pages, Google uses software called a web crawler or a spider. As new pages are found, they are added to Google's index. When people search, results are pulled from the index. To find the most relevant results, Google's algorithm uses 200 plus signals. Examples of signals include the freshness of content on a website, the number of other websites linking it to a particular site and the authority of those links, quality of the content on the site, the URL and page title, and whether the best result is a web page, image, video, news article, etc. Websites that want to improve their chances of appearing or appearing higher in Google search results use SEO, search engine optimization. Some people hire companies or consultants to help with SEO, and others work on SEO themselves. Here are a few tips for helping your website appear in the search results. Tip number 1 is optimize load time, especially for mobile devices. You can test your site's mobile speed at g.co/testmysite. The tool can generate a free report that outlines areas on your site that can be improved. Tip number 2 is to use original content, useful, information-rich, clear, and accurate content that includes keywords users would type to find your pages, and make sure that your site actually includes those words. For links, especially in the navigation, use text when possible. If it is an image, make sure to include a relevant alt tag or an alt description. Adding internal links will help your web visitors find other areas of your website easily. Your website should also include descriptive page titles and accurate page descriptions. Many content management systems include areas where you can add them for each page. You'll want to make each page title and description unique to each page. And remember information architecture that we talked about earlier? It not only helps your human visitors, it helps Google interpret the content, including what's important and what's not as important on your website. Remember to design your site for all browsers, device types, and sizes, including desktops, tablets, and smartphones. Another tool from Google that can help you to monitor, maintain, and troubleshoot your site's presence in Google search results is the Google Search Console. The Search Console is free, and it measures your website search traffic and performance, fix issues, and help your site look its best in Google's search result. Even if you won't be using the Search Console yourself, you should be aware of it, become familiar with the basics of optimizing your site for search engines, and know what features are available. If you hire someone to help with SEO, Search Console will likely be used to monitor web traffic, optimize your site's ranking, and understand how the site appears in search results. The information from Search Console reports can influence technical decisions and offer marketing analysis in conjunction with other Google tools like Google Analytics, Google Trends, and Google Ads. You can sign up for a free Search Console account by visiting g.co/search console. And here's a look inside of it. You can check out all the available tools and reports, including the performance report, which shows important metrics about how your site performs in Google search results, how often it comes up, average position in search results, the click-through rate, and any special features that are also like rich results associated with them. The URL inspection tool, which allows you to check a specific URL on your website to see the status of how Google sees that URL. And this tool provides detailed crawl information, indexing, and serving information on your pages directly from the Google index. And the mobile usability report shows which pages have usability problems when viewed on mobile devices. Finally, you should think about your website not as your total presence online, but one small piece of the online puzzle. You have many ways to connect with your audience online. And sometimes you might meet your customers in other ways, like Google Ads, a YouTube channel, social media. Be sure to connect all the ways your business appears online to help your customers interact with your brand in as many ways as they can. We have covered quite a bit of information today, so let's talk about what you should do next. Start by making a list of business goals that you want to support with your website. If you're building a new site, choose a design that works on all browsers and devices. And if you've had your site for a while, check to see how it performs on all devices, especially mobile. Third, create or recreate a plan for your content. Organization will help human visitors and search engines navigate your website more easily. Once you have your plan, start adding the content. The more often you can publish useful, original information on your site, the better. And then think about how your website can offer functionality that supports your business goals. Before investing the time and resources building a custom tool, it's worth checking to see if existing software can be bought or licensed for your site. And last but not least, be search engine friendly. If search engines can't find your website, potential customers will have a difficult time finding you as well. And here's some more resources that Google has that you can use when you want more information about websites or other Google tools. If you want to sharpen your business and marketing skills, check out Primer. It's a free app that you can download to your phone. And if you have an Android device, you can download it at Google Play. And if you have an Apple device, you can download it from the Apple Store. It has a series of short, fun lessons that are all less than 5 minutes each. Another great resource is Google Quick Help videos. You can get answers on how to make the most of Google's tools in just a few minutes. And you can learn things like how to get your business listed on Google Search and Maps, how to create a YouTube channel for your business, and how to start a Google Meet conference. And you can find all this stuff at g.co/grow/quickhelp, or you can just Google Quick Help. You can also grow your digital skills no matter where you're located through online workshops, where you can learn skills that can help you stay connected and productive while working or managing a business remotely. You can visit g.co/growonair for current virtual digital skills workshops in their descriptions. You can also stay tuned for upcoming classes on Google Ads, using YouTube to grow your business, and the second part of Google Analytics if you want some more intermediate strategies. Grow with Google is a new initiative that helps people prepare for work, find jobs, and grow their businesses. Job seekers can grow their skills in order to find new jobs and advance their careers. Teachers can learn how to put the latest technology to work inside and outside the classroom. Small business owners can build their online presence and find new customers. And startups can learn how to get their ideas the exposure they need to succeed. Developers can also sharpen their current skills and master new ones. And to learn more, visit google.com/grow. Thank you so much for attending today's workshop. All right, and before I turn it back over to Stephanie, I just want to note that some of this information can feel like a lot, but I would honestly say that just having a website at all is so much more helpful than not. So even if it's just getting the basics on a site, like what your business does, where you're located, what your hours are, how to get in contact with you, even just having that simple information can be super helpful.
Yeah, oh, thank you, Hedis. Yeah, I totally agree. I think about every time somebody, back in the old days, we used to look for a plumber or a mechanic in the yellow pages, and we just simply do not do that anymore. We pick up our phones and we look for our service providers or where we want to shop on that phone first. So it's absolutely imperative for small businesses that you have at least a site up that makes sure that people can find your phone number or your address with a few photos just to let people know, what you do. So let me see, I think we have one. No questions. Does anybody have a question? We have a small group, so if you want to unmute and ask a question, you are welcome to do that. And we can also show you where the Google sites or where to find that automatically generated web page inside Google My Business is. If somebody needs that help, we're happy to show you that. Now we have a few more minutes that we clocked for you. I will send out an email tomorrow with the link to we got to upload it to YouTube. It takes us just a little while. If you want to know how to do that, have that skill, join us for using YouTube to grow your business later. That one's in August, maybe. Yeah, we'll have it up on YouTube later. You can always just go ahead and check our YouTube. We're SBDC Lynchburg region. If you search on YouTube, I will send you an email and you will get that from us tomorrow with the YouTube link in it. We also have at Virginia SBDC lots of our recorded trainings there as well. So make sure you check out virginiasbdc.org for all of those. There's some amazing training up there. You can also search them on YouTube. So this is your opportunity. What do you think? You'd learned a ton in 40 minutes, right? Well, listen, join us. Yes, it's so much. I mean, it just kind of helps you, get organized and thinking about how to redo that. So I will just remind you that, one of the things that you can do, one of the services that the SBDC can provide you, whether that's if you're here in the Lynchburg region or you're anywhere in Virginia, we have every single office has a counselor who will sit down with you and say, okay, this is what's happening with your website. I, as a consumer, this is how your website is working for me or not working for me. Website reviews are something that I do frequently, and I will tell you, they can be a little heartbreaking for businesses sometimes. But it's when you're ready to hear how to improve that shopping experience or how to make those things work a little more cleanly or There used to be the time when people told you to have lots of words on websites, and that's just not true anymore. What you need is good content. You need it to say what you do, where you are. That's what counts when people are engaging with you. So next one, our next event coming up is, I think I said it earlier, right?
Oh, for the Google series. Oh, that will be the 13th, and that's reaching customers online with Google.
Reaching customers online with Google. The other titles in the series are
using YouTube is one of them. Another one is like a marketing.
Yep. Launch your business with customer-focused marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have those 3 great ones left. And as I said, check out Create Virginia and all of the great training that's available at the Virginia SBDC. So go to sbdclynchburgregion.org and register for all the rest. We will see you in 2 weeks. Same Zoom time, same Zoom channel. Well, actually, I think that's a different link, but that's okay. You know what